सचिन पायलट बैठे हुए हैं धरना स्थल पर, ठीक उसी जगह पर मैं मौजूद हूं। यहां पे आप तस्वीर देखेंगे सचिन पायलट की। सचिन पायलट बैठ चुके हैं, आमरण अनशन कर रहे हैं, एक दिन का अनशन उनका है। और यहां तस्वीरें जो है आप देख सकते हैं, यहां उनके समर्थक उनको पटका पहना रहे हैं। तस्वीरों में आप यहां देख सकते हैं, सबसे नजदीक से रिपब्लिक आपको दिखा रहा है तस्वीरें। आपको यहाँ पे उनके तमाम समर्थक नजर आ रहे होंगे जो लगातार यहाँ पे बैठ रहे हैं। सबसे पहले उन्हें भगवा पटका पहनाया गया, पहला जो पटका था उनको भगवा पटका पहनाया गया। उसके बाद अब यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं कि यहाँ पे आप तस्वीरें देखेंगे कि यहाँ 5 बजे तक मौन की स्थिति में सचिन पायलट रहने वाले हैं। सचिन पायलट मौन की स्थिति में यहाँ रहने वाले हैं। सचिन पायलट के समर्थक यहाँ पे मौजूद हैं। लगातार समर्थकों का जो आना है वो शुरू हो चुका है। और यहाँ तस्वीरें आप देखेंगे तो सचिन पायलट के चेहरे को आप देखें, वो बड़ा गंभीर है और जिस तरीके से समर्थक हैं वो भी हैं। लेकिन मैं कहूँगा कि एक बार मंच पर नजर रखें, आप सचिन पायलट पर ही फोकस करें महेश। और यहाँ तस्वीरें जो हैं वो आप देखेंगे, मौन धारण किए हुए सचिन पायलट आपको यहाँ नजर आ रहे होंगे। और यहाँ पे तस्वीरें आप देखेंगे तो आपको समझ में आया होगा। तस्वीरें आप यहाँ देख सकते हैं, मीडिया को यहाँ सचिन पायलट जो है वो कह रहे हैं कि अभी शांति बनाए रखें। तस्वीरें अपने समर्थकों को यहाँ शांत करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। तस्वीरों को यहाँ देखेंगे, बड़े नजदीकी से रिपब्लिक आपको दिखा रहा है आपकी टीवी स्क्रीन पर। ये तस्वीरें सचिन पायलट की हैं और ये तस्वीरें कहीं ना कहीं बदलाव की भी हो सकती हैं, क्योंकि जो स्टेप सचिन पायलट ने उठाया है, जो कदम सचिन पायलट ने उठाया है, वो राजस्थान की राजनीति में कहीं ना कहीं बड़ा हो सकता है। क्योंकि जिस तरीके से सुखजिंदर रंधावा ने कहा कि ये पार्टी विरोधी गतिविधियों में आता है ये धरना, तो इस धरने से पीछे नहीं हटे हैं सचिन पायलट, इस धरने पर बैठ चुके हैं। और जब बैठ गए हैं तो इसका मतलब यह है कि अब सचिन पायलट के कदम पीछे नहीं रहने वाले, अब वो कदम आगे की तरफ बढ़ेंगे। फिर चाहे कुछ भी कदम हो, किस तरीके के भी कदम हो, ये तस्वीरें जो हैं वो आप देख सकते हैं। इसमें अंदाजा लगा सकते हैं कि सचिन पायलट की जो स्थिति है वो कितनी गंभीरता से वो इस चीज को सोच रहे हैं। हालांकि मीडिया ने उनसे कई बार बात करने की कोशिश की, लेकिन किसी को भी उन्होंने बात करने से मना कर दिया। सचिन पायलट बिल्कुल भी किसी भी मीडिया से बात नहीं कर रहे हैं। अभी वो मीडिया के साथियों को भी कहीं ना कहीं अभी कह रहे हैं कि शांत रहें, अभी बात वो नहीं करेंगे। 5 बजे तक ये धरना जो है वो चलने वाला है और सचिन पायलट जिंदाबाद के नारे चल रहे हैं, देशभक्ति गाने जो हैं वो चल रहे हैं। समर्थक जो हैं वो लगातार यहाँ काम कर रहे हैं, बात कर रहे हैं और सोच में है कि सचिन पायलट आखिर कौन सा स्टेप उठाएंगे। क्योंकि जब सचिन पायलट को लेकर के बात कही जाती है तो उनके समर्थकों में एक बात जरूर साफ निकल के आती है कि सचिन पायलट कुछ गलत नहीं कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि उनके साथ जो अन्याय हुआ है वो पिछले 4 सालों में जनता देख रही है। इसी तरीके से सचिन पायलट समर्थक विधायक जिस तरीके से वेद प्रकाश सोलंकी ने कल रिपब्लिक से कहा था कि हमारा गला दबाया जा रहा है, और राजस्थान की जनता जानती है कि गला दबाने का काम किस तरीके से हो रहा है। तो तस्वीरों में आप यहाँ देख सकते हैं कि समर्थक तो हैं ही, समर्थकों के साथ साथ में यहाँ पे सचिन पायलट किस तरीके से बैठे हुए हैं, वो मौन धारण किए हुए हैं और सचिन पायलट के साथ में यहाँ उनके समर्थक जो हैं वो बैठे हुए हैं। तो तस्वीरों में आपको सब कुछ नजर आ रहा है, तस्वीरों में आपको ये नजदीक से हम दिखा रहे हैं। और यहाँ सचिन पायलट जो बैठे हुए हैं उससे ये समझा जा सकता है कि 5 घंटे तक मौन रहेंगे। और इसी मौन को कांग्रेस पार्टी ने कहा था कि ये पार्टी विरोधी है। तो स्थिति जो है वो कहीं ना कहीं यहाँ दिखाई दे रही है आपको। और यहाँ सचिन पायलट मीडिया से फिलहाल बात नहीं कर रहे, लेकिन समर्थकों का तांता जो है वो लगातार चल रहा है, आ रहे हैं समर्थक, आ रहे हैं और समर्थक जो हैं वो लगातार जब आ रहे हैं तो यहाँ अब चिंता का विषय कांग्रेस पार्टी के लिए ये भी है कि सुखजिंदर रंधावा जिस बात को कल रात को कह रहे थे वो बात पूरी हो पाएगी कि नहीं हो पाएगी। यहाँ पे मेरे साथ में कुछ लोग हैं, कहाँ से आए हैं आप? झुंझुनू से आए हैं आप जी। तो सचिन पायलट के समर्थक हैं?
बिल्कुल सर।
क्या कहेंगे, जो पार्टी कह रही है उसके लिए क्या कहेंगे?
पार्टी के अकॉर्डिंग जो सचिन बोल रहे हैं वो सही है सर, इनके विरुद्ध।
Pictures on your screen are of Sachin Pilot over there. He has decided not to speak to the media and remain mum through the day. But the idiom that silence speaks louder than 1,000 words may hold true in this case, because Sachin Pilot has sent across a very strong signal to the Congress party that this time he's not going to bow down to the party, and in fact that he has now taken a position of strength over here. Let's go across to Madhurima. Madhurima, just give us a sense of the large number of people who have gathered, because it's going to be very important to see whether the Congress still tries to broker peace or whether Sachin Pilot decides to go his separate way. And do remember that Republic Media Network, of course, has spoken about the fact that Sachin Pilot may actively be considering an option of breaking away from the Congress party.
Well, yes, absolutely, Nupur. We'll take you straight to the visuals over here, and you can see hundreds of people have gathered here in this small park. Even outside, you can see outside the railing, because the venue is house full, and the sloganeering with the slogans of Sachin Pilot, I love you, Sachin Pilot Zindabad, are echoing all across this entire venue of Shaheed Smarak. And as you can see, that this is just not here, but even outside, people have gathered, the workers have gathered, because the entire venue is full. So it is not like that Sachin Pilot is on the weaker end. The show of strength and the way party workers have marched with him is extraordinary, and this would be an interesting fight now, because Sachin Pilot, with the kind of gathering here, let me tell you, Nupur, this is much more, the gathering is much heavier than what it was at Rajghat when Priyanka Gandhi had come for Satyagrah, because I was there as well. I'm here today as well. So today the venue is full, but that day when I was there reporting for Priyanka Gandhi's Satyagrah, it was a half empty venue. But like I'm saying, it's a 360-degree shot that we are showing for our viewers, as to see that how the entire area is full. The entire park that was booked for this particular Satyagrah is full. And Sachin Pilot in visuals. Sachin Pilot in visuals, he is standing up, he might speak, and you can see him on the stage. Sachin Pilot's exclusive visuals bringing from the spot, and he will be making an address as well. And he's going to make a statement as well. A lot of fears.
Madhurima, if you can hear me, I just wanted to understand from you whether, people who you've spoken to around you, his supporters, see him as being pitted against the BJP, in a scenario that he were to break away from the Congress party. Is he pitching himself as being, the face against corruption in the state at large? Because, with a single stroke, he has managed to take on Ashok Gehlot and, Vasundhara Raje, whom he accuses of being hugely corrupt. Madhurima, if you can hear me, I was asking you, do you think that this is a master stroke by Sachin Pilot? Because in a single stroke, he has managed to portray himself to be, the person who speaks against corruption. He has managed to portray himself to be against Ashok Gehlot, as well as Vasundhara Raje, whom he accuses of having been at the helm of a very, very corrupt BJP leadership when the party was in power.
But yes, you were asking about the show of strength, and the show of strength is massive, and in just a moment from now we can expect Sachin Pilot to speak up as well, give an address as well, and there's a lot of ruckus over here, because the number of people that have poured in support of Sachin Pilot, and they continue to pour in. In fact, the area in and around the premises where he is sitting for the dharna is entirely packed, and it's jam-packed to the extent that the security is facing a lot of, is facing a lot of trouble over here to calm the entire crowd down and to regularize the media. So all these efforts being made to stabilize the entire thing, and we have Sachin Pilot on the stage, and the show of strength, like we were talking about, is massive. And this only means one thing for the Congress party, Nupur, that it's not going to be an easy fight. Sachin Pilot is not going to bow down easy, and he is going to keep his point first. And with the Rajasthan Assembly elections coming in, it is going to be a difficult task for the Congress party to keep it together without Sachin Pilot, because if they take an hasty decision against Pilot, you can see the kind of support the Rajasthan government is going to lose over here. My video journalist Vivek bringing you the visuals right from the spot where Mr. Pilot is sitting over here in the day-long Anshan. He is sitting here, and all the workers over here continue to chant slogans against for Sachin Pilot, and they keep on pressurizing the fact that they are with Sachin Pilot. All they say that hamara neta kaisa ho, Sachin Pilot jaisa ho. So that is a lot of support for Sachin Pilot. And in a while that he will also speak to the media, because the entire crowd being streamlined by the security officials as well. Sachin Pilot there, live visuals, sitting on the Satyagrah, massive support pouring in inside the Gandhi Smarak Park over here, just a couple of kilometers away from Sachin Pilot's main residence. We are bringing viewers over here with Sachin Pilot being at the helm of this massive support that has poured in for his Satyagrah that intends to initiate and that intends to push the Gehlot government to initiate action against the alleged corruption that took place during the Vasundhara Raje tenure. But as we know that the Congress party and the Gehlot government has made it clear that it is an anti-party activity over here, and that Sachin Pilot, instead of organizing such an event, should sit on the table and speak to the people today as well. Sukhinder Singh Randhawa, who is in charge of the party, Congress party in Rajasthan, said that how he has been in charge for past 5 months, but Sachin Pilot has not come issue or raised any issue against the kind of governance that is happening. But once again, he says that dialogue is the better way, but at the same time they are also issuing a notice against Pilot and not calling him on the table. So it's quite ironical. It is quite ironical because both sides are passing the blame to each other, but no action being taken. I believe it is the common person, the common man of Rajasthan facing the brunt of the infighting, as because of the infighting, the development work that was supposed to be done is, of course, facing a lot of trouble and is facing the kind of stagnancy that there should not be because of the infighting that has been continuous since this government was formed in this state 4 years back. And with the elections inching closer, it is only going to be embarrassing for the Congress party to lose yet another state because of the infighting in their own party.
So essentially also, Madhurima, as you're pointing out, obviously the Congress party has not said that it has essentially said it views this as anti-party activity, but on the other side, they're not also calling him for talks. Now, do you have any information on whether any backdoor communication is still open with Sachin Pilot, or, has the Congress party pretty much indicated, by saying that this is anti-party activity, that it will not be talking to Sachin Pilot on this? Of course, on the other side, Sachin Pilot does enjoy huge numbers of support in Rajasthan. There are parts of Rajasthan, which are looked upon as being Sachin Pilot's, stronghold. So, does the Congress party risk losing that, and is it prepared to deal with that at all? Madhurima, can you hear me? All right, viewers will appreciate that it does appear to be a very, very large gathering that Madhurima is reporting from. This is the Dharna site in Jaipur. I don't think if she can hear me, but I'm going to try once again. Now, Madhurima, do you know whether the Congress party has kept some channel of negotiation open with Sachin Pilot? Because so far it does appear that while they have said that he should voice his concerns within the Congress party's forum, they haven't really made a concerted effort to reach out to him and have talks with him.
Well, Nupur, that's the irony that we've been highlighting. That on one side you're saying that Mr. Pilot should come on the table and have peaceful dialogue. But on the other side, what is being done is AICC issuing a notice calling the entire Satyagraha as an anti-party activity. And they're saying it on paper, a public notice that they have issued that they would like to have a dialogue. So there's nobody assigned as such to come to Mr. Pilot, and that is what he wants. He wants to be heard. He wants that the issues that he has been raising for ever since 2020, where he expressed his concern. Ever since then, he has been promised time and again that his concerns will be heard. He had met Priyanka Gandhi, he had met Rahul Gandhi. The number of talks happened between them and Sachin Pilot, but I believe everything has fallen flat once again because at the same time, we see this satyagraha happening, and my video journalist a 360-degree view of the entire area, how is jam-packed, how people have poured in, Rajasthan Congress workers have poured in support of Sachin Pilot, and the entire venue is packed. Even the Congress workers, they continue to pour out. Even outside, the area outside is jam-packed. So this is the kind of show Mr. Pilot has today put in front of the Congress party, asserting that he is not going to bow out. He is not going to let the Gehlot government have it easy. He is going to put forth his views, and he's going to challenge them hard. Because remember, there were multiple times that Sachin Pilot had raised these issues of either action against Dalit, and then there were atrocities against Dalit. There was a child who was beaten to death because he drank the water from a common water cooler. He was a Dalit child. He raised his voice then as well that the government is not taking cognizance of such incidents that are increasing in Rajasthan. Then of course this new entire incident of the corruption that has come up, that the corruption during the alleged corruption during the Vasundhara Raje regime should be probed in, and that is the demand that has been kept by Sachin Pilot, and this is what he's keep on pressing upon. And he's, the bizarre fact and the embarrassing fact for the Gehlot government is that their own leader of the highest rank is saying that his senior is not capable of taking cognizance of the corruptions that took place in the previous government. And he's saying that how the Congress in its previous manifesto during the election had pointed out that they are going to fight against corruption, and once again with elections around the corner, it will be difficult for them to ask for votes again, and which is why it is high time that they should expedite the entire matter, and that they should expedite the entire matter, and that they should initiate action against. So you can see that the kind of support that has erupted here in support of Sachin Pilot needs to be seen. Because the number of people that have poured in is massive, which is why the security regulations are difficult for the security officials to manage. But we are bringing you these visuals right from the deck. At the center stage, Mr. Sachin Pilot sitting. It's a day-long observing to force the Gehlot government to start action against the alleged corruption during the Vasundhara Raje period. But the point that Sachin Pilot wants to all along that whether he'll be able to garner support or not, that he's done, and the support that he's given to garner is more than massive. The number of people jam-packed. It is comparatively more than what Ms. Priyanka Gandhi, Mallikarjun Kharge were able to garner during the Congress protest just a couple of weeks back at Rajghat. So he has proved that he is a famous leader over here and that he's not going to bow out. So we'll have to see how the Congress top rank, how the Gehlot government reacts to the entire protest that is happening here, the satyagraha that is happening here. We'll see that how
का प्रश्न राजस्थान के प्रभारी महासचिव से पूछेंगे तो सही रहेगा।
आप राजस्थान से सांसद है सर, इसलिए पूछा जा रहा है कि राजस्थान में स्थितियां ठीक नहीं है।
आप मेरी एमपी ग्रांट के बारे में पूछिए, मैं जवाब दूंगा। आपको कोई और डेवलपमेंट की, वहां तरक्की की कोई बात के बारे में जानना है, जवाब दूंगा। संगठन की जिम्मेवारी आप ये समझेंगे। मैं राजस्थान से राज्यसभा सांसद हूं, ये सही है। मैं हरियाणा की धरती से आता हूं, ये भी सही है। पर संगठन की जो भूमिका है उसमें स्पेसिफिक भूमिका वहां के प्रभारी जो पंजाब से हमारे दोस्त हैं उनको दी है, वो महासचिव हैं। आप उनसे ये सवाल पूछिए।
सर, कोल्हार को लेकर राहुल गांधी कोल्हार जा रहे हैं 16 तारीख को, और क्या कोल्हार सीट से चुनाव लड़ने को लेकर सीधा रमैया का मामला अभी तक फाइनल हुआ कि नहीं, ये भी जान
देखिए।
Right, so that is Randeep Singh Surjewala not wanting to answer any questions as far as the situation in Rajasthan goes. But one thing that the Congress party cannot accuse Sachin Pilot is of impatience. He's been extremely patient. He has brought out his issues with the Gandhis several times, and despite the reassurances that have been given to him, he feels at least that those issues have not been addressed. Now, Madhurima, of course, is continuing to bring us the latest from the Dharna site in Jaipur. But what does appear to be extremely clear is that Sachin Pilot enjoys a mass support base in Rajasthan, which is going to be extremely difficult for the Congress party to ignore. There is also talk, of course, of the fact that Sachin Pilot could perhaps be thinking of floating his own political party. That, of course, has been a big news break from Republic TV, and it appears that, you know, what we said yesterday may just be coming true. Let's go. Well, very difficult situation for the Congress party. It has, of course, said that it views this dharna that is being carried out by Sachin Pilot and his supporters as being anti-party activity, going on to say that they're willing to discuss issues. But we haven't really heard whether the Congress party has sent an emissary to Sachin Pilot. We are told that the Rajasthan in charge for the Congress is going to be in Rajasthan today and tomorrow to try and ward off a rebellion. But perhaps it may just be too late now. I'm going to try and dip into Madhurima. Okay, I don't think we've got Madhurima yet, but as we've been talking about, obviously Sachin Pilot has decided this time around it is going to be a final decision, because do remember that Rajasthan goes to the polls this year, and obviously for Sachin Pilot to take a final decision on whether he wants to stay with the Congress party or, you know, float his own political outfit or perhaps, you know, join another political party, there are very few months left to decide, and hence the timing of this show of support becomes increasingly important. Now, do remember that Sachin Pilot has said that this dharna is against corruption broadly. He's accused the Gehlot government of not acting against corruption cases of Vasundhara Raje Sindhya. In a sense, what he's doing is that he is pegging the two of them together, and he himself being portrayed as the person who will be fighting corruption. Very interesting to watch out for whether, you know, Sachin Pilot does speak at all today. He has decided to maintain silence throughout the fast. It gets over at about 5 in the evening is what we are hearing. But he has said that he will not be talking to the media before that. Whether the Congress party comes out and addresses this issue or not remains to be seen. Now, Ashok Gehlot, who's at the center largely of this accusation that the Congress party has not acted against corruption, has also chosen not to speak. All right, now pictures on your screen are of the large-scale support that Sachin Pilot seems to be enjoying of Congress cadres at the moment. Let's listen into some reactions that we are getting to this protest that is taking place in Jaipur.
देखिए, ऐसा है कि सचिन पायलट जी को इस समय पूरी शक्ति लगाना चाहिए। राहुल जी को जिस तरह से प्रताड़ित किया जा रहा है, संसद से निकाल दिया गया है, अदालत से सजा करा दी गई है, उनके पीछे खड़ा होना चाहिए। कांग्रेस ने बहुत कुछ उनको दिया है।
क्योंकि लोकसभा चुनाव अब लगभग साल भर से कम का है, तो अगर इन विसंगतियों को, एनोमलीज को अगर दूर ना किया जाए तो मैं समझता हूँ संदेश अच्छा नहीं जाता।
सर, इस बीच बीजेपी कह रही है कि कांग्रेस पार्टी ने इस स्टेट में 2 सीएम दे दिए हैं जो कि दोनों आपस में लड़ते रहते हैं, इनके खिलाफ अब पार्टी प्रदर्शन करने का।
पहले अपना वसुंधरा जी वाला रिजॉल्व कर लेना। वो संकट तो उनका बहुत बड़ा संकट है, कई वर्षों का है। यहाँ हाईकमान को वो चुनौती देती हैं, हाईकमान को ना उगलते ना निगलते बन रहा है। रिजॉल्व कर लीजिए, कांग्रेस का मामला है, कांग्रेस रिजॉल्व करेगी।
सर, इलेक्शन कमीशन का कल का जो फैसला है जिसमें कि आम आदमी पार्टी को नेशनल पार्टी का स्टेटस दिया।
I'm going to try and go across to Madhurima to get a sense of what's happening over there currently. Madhurima, if you can hear us, give us an overall sense of what's happening right now. Now, Sachin Pilot, of course, has decided that he's not going to be speaking. But do you see any emissaries of the Congress party perhaps trying to get in a word with him? Is there any movement at all from the Congress's high command to perhaps get him to the negotiating table?
Now the visuals that we're bringing for you is Mr. Sachin Pilot. Sachin Pilot has taken the center stage. My video journalist Vivek is bringing you these visuals. He's sitting at the center of the stage with other Congress leaders that have surrounded him. The entire park over here is full. The entire area is full and jam-packed. This is the kind of strength that Sachin Pilot is exhibiting at the moment. A lot of support pouring in for Sachin Pilot. That only shows that not only it is between Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot, even the party cadre, the party workers are divided. And now what needs to be seen here is that the kind of show of strength. And to that second part of your question is that if there is anybody that has come to the table to initiate dialogues, that is a no, because we just heard Mr. Udit Raj. He's saying that the party has given a lot to him and he should stand by Rahul Gandhi in these difficult times. But what Mr. Sachin Pilot is saying, that it is the people who come first, and that the Ashok Gehlot government ahead of the previous elections that happened in 2019, had promised that they are going to initiate action against the alleged corruption that took place during the Vasundhara Raje regime. But nothing of that sort has happened, and that the Congress party has fallen flat as far as delivering on the promises they made during the previous elections. And once again, when people are going to question about it, there will be no answer to give, and which is why this entire Anshan has been organized over here. And you can see that how the entire atmosphere here is very electric. People are clapping in support of which songs, patriot songs in the background, and the Congress party workers cheering their leader Sachin Pilot. And even you can see Sachin Pilot enjoying that song. He's thumping the table with his hand, and he is also enjoying the kind of support. It is in fact a strong message. His gesture, it's very confident, and you can see that he is enjoying the kind of support that has poured in for him today at this particular location, this protest site. And he is nodding his head along with the tunes of patriot songs and the cheer of the leaders. He is also his hand gestures, his feet gestures, he is enjoying to the tunes of the music. That shows that somewhere in his heart he knows that he has been able to garner the support that he was expecting, and it's not a flop show. It's a very strong show that he's been able to put in front of the Congress party top rung, and that they have no option but now to look towards the demand of Sachin Pilot over here, who's sitting on a day-long fast over here, demanding action against the alleged corruptions that he said were promised during the manifesto. And he is smiling over here. He is enjoying the support that he has been able to garner for himself and for the cause that he's fighting, that is fight against corruption. He has been pressing on the fact that the Congress has always been against corruption, and that we should not forget the promises that we made to people ahead of the elections. And now that the elections are coming again, there has to be some face. You can see once again Sachin Pilot thumping the desk in front of.
All right, we are getting news now that Jagdish Tytler, the Congress leader, has been summoned by the CBI to appear before it today. Jagdish Tytler has been called for his voice sample to the CSFL lab next to the CBI. Now, this pertains to the 1984 anti-Sikh riots case in which he is being investigated. We are given to understand that he has been summoned by the CBI to give out his voice samples in this particular case. Shavan Sen has more details. Let's go across to him. Shavan, tell us more, please.
Well, Nupur, we do have a confirmation coming in from top sources within the central agency that Jagdish Tytler, Congress leader, has now been asked to appear before the CFSL, which is next to the CBI headquarters in the national capital. This is pertaining to collection of a voice sample. Remember, what they're basically probing right now is the role of Jagdish Tytler in the 1984 riots. This is pertaining to the Gurdwara, which was basically set on fire in the national capital. For the same purpose, we're now given to understand that Jagdish Tytler would essentially be appearing before the CFSL today when the voice sample is collected.
All right. I think there's some sort of audio trouble with Shavan Sen over there, but as we are saying, news just coming in, Jagdish Tytler has been summoned by the CBI to appear before it today. His voice samples are being collected. This is the 1984 anti-Sikh riots case. Now, Shavan, any more details that we have with us in terms of which particular case this is referring to? And also, any comments that we are now getting from the Congress party? All right, I think we're running into trouble with Shravan's audio connection over there. We'll go back to him in just a bit. But joining me on the broadcast is Mr. R.P. Singh. Mr. Singh, how do you see this? Do you think that the Congress party must at least now take action against Jagdish Tytler? Because, you know, time and again we see that his name crops up in the 1984 anti-Sikh riots case, but the Congress decides to turn a blind eye to this.
They won't do so because he was a co-partner, Mr. Gandhi at that time. And he is still the patient on record, there on a lot of social media also. He is on record said that I was going around the city with Mr. Gandhi just after during the 1984. So how can they jump it? They won't, because I feel he probably is able to blackmail the family by saying that I'll disclose a lot of things and name a lot of people who were all involved in 1984. And he has 2 books categorically said that it is a pre-planned conspiracy done by Rajiv Gandhi and his team, and Mr. Tytler was part of his team.
Right, Mr. Singh, appreciate you joining us. Thank you very much. So R.P. Singh over there saying that he doesn't believe that the Congress is going to take any action against Jagdish Tytler. Now, do remember that Jagdish Tytler is one of the accused in the anti-Sikh riots case in 1984. Now, time and again, of course, we have seen the Congress party giving him new responsibilities. In fact, in the MCD elections, we saw a large amount of responsibility being thrust towards Jagdish Tytler. The latest that we are getting is that Jagdish Tytler has been summoned by the CBI, and it is also understood that perhaps Jagdish Tytler's voice samples will be taken at the CFSL lab that is next to the CBI's headquarters. We are given to understand that this is the CBI taking action against Jagdish Tytler in the 1984 anti-Sikh riots. Now, new evidence may have emerged against Jagdish Tytler, which has led to the CBI to essentially recording his voice samples. Let's go across to Mr. S.P. Singh. He is S.P. Singh, who is joining us right now on the phone. He is a 1984 Sikh genocide survivor. Mr. Singh, thank you for joining us. Mr. Singh, now Jagdish Tytler, of course, we are told is being summoned again by the CBI in a particular case in the 1984 riots. Why do you think, the Congress party maintains such a long rope for him, and how do you see this new move now? सिंह साहब, क्या आपको मेरी आवाज़ आ रही है?
हाँ जी, आ रही है।
मैं आपसे पूछना चाह रही थी कि ये जगदीश टाइटलर को फिर से एक बार सीबीआई ने बुलाया है और उनका जो आवाज़ का सैंपल है वो भी लिया जाएगा। क्या आपको लगता है कि जगदीश टाइटलर के खिलाफ कांग्रेस पार्टी नहीं चाहती कोई एक्शन हो, और इसी वजह से हम बार बार देखते हैं कि ये केस उठाया जाता है और फिर से दब जाता है? आप इस एक्शन को कैसे देख रहे हैं?
देखो, ऐसा है बेटे जी, मेरी आवाज आ रही है?
जी जी, बोलिए।
देखो, असल में बात क्या है, सरकार कोई भी हो, सरकार बदल जाती है, अफसर तो वही है ना। ये मंत्री रहे हुए हैं, इनके अपने संपर्क भी हैं अफसरों से। अब कोई ऐसा निर्भीक अफसर आए और ऐसा कोई निर्भीक जज आए जो न्याय दिला सकता है। बाकी खाना पूर्ति तो आज 38 साल खत्म हो गए, 39वां होने को जा रहा है, हैं जी?
जी।
तो आप खुद देख लीजिए, अगर ऐसा कुछ होता तो 38 साल पहले होना चाहिए। इतना समय बाद कोई न्याय मिलने की उम्मीद, हम तो भगवान के ऊपर आस रखते हैं और इस जजों के ऊपर आस रखते हैं कि कोई तो अच्छा है। अभी तो बुरे होते नहीं हैं, लेकिन वो अच्छा हमारी तकदीर में, यानी कि एक सिख और उत्तम की तकदीर में कब टकरेगा ये भगवान जानता है
जी।
अगर ऐसा कोई जज मिल जाए और ऐसा कोई अफसर मिल जाए तब तो इसको सजा होगी। अब आप देखिए, मैं आपको बताऊं, मैं क्या ये खुद ही आपको मुंह से बोलेगा कि इसने गवाहों को कैसे खरीदा, किस तरीके से इसने लोगों को यूज किया जो हमारे मिलने वाले थे। मतलब बड़ी लंबी गेम खेलते ही। ये किसी को पता ही नहीं चलता कि बात कहाँ की कहाँ जा रही है, शुरुआत कहाँ से होती है। शातिर आदमी है, पढ़ा लिखा शातिर है। आज तक बताओ कोर्टों में तक नहीं गया ये, तो इसकी शातिरता और इसकी जो पहचान और इसका पैसा और इसकी पावर, ऊपर से पार्टी की सपोर्ट, तो कैसे न्याय मिले बताइए आप
जी।
सवाल तो हमारा है
जी
बल्कि आप हमसे सवाल करते हैं ना, तो सही मायने में तो सवाल हम इस देश से करते हैं, इस न्यायपालिका से करते हैं, इन राजनीतिकों से करते हैं, सभी से। किसी भी पार्टी का हो, पार्टियों में अच्छे बुरे सब में है, लेकिन ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए देश के लिए। अगर देश को चलाना है तो इसमें निर्भीक जज, निर्भीक वकील, निर्भीक अफसर होने जरूरी है, जो मानवता के लिए और न्याय के लिए काम करें, बिना जाति धर्म भेद के न्याय करें।
जी सिंह साहब, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया हमसे बात करने के लिए। सो दैट इज़ वन ऑफ the 1984 genocide Sikh survivors who says that he sees this as a failing of consecutive governments, that this man you see on your screen has still not been convicted in these cases, also saying that he is hopeful perhaps that some action will finally be taken. Now do remember that Jagdish Tytler has been summoned by the CBI once again. We are given to understand that perhaps his voice samples will be taken by the CBI and that will take place at a laboratory that's next to the CBI headquarters, that is the CSFL lab that's next to CBI. Now this is pertaining to new evidence that the CBI seems to have uncovered in the 1984 riots case.
Dear viewers, in a few days we are bringing to you once again the Republic Summit, and this year our theme is fittingly about how this is a time of transformation. Yes, this is a time of transformation for an India that is growing 4 times faster than the world average. It is a time of transformation for an India whose manufacturing exports grow 40% year on year on the back of COVID, while China witnesses a major loss. This is a time of transformation, of opportunity for India that has let go of the dollar hangover, and the rupee is closer to being accepted as international currency. And nearly 60% of all digital payments are already UPI based. Isn't this the very moment to come together and think of how we can make the transformation even quicker? So please join me and join all of us at Republic TV as we bring to you the Republic Summit this year on the theme of a time of transformation. See you there.
Mediation will work when there is uncertainty of winning by any one party. इसलिए जो judgment आया यही सबसे उत्तम है. This puts an end to the whole issue.
Assertive 1% that wants to open the wounds again. They do not operate only by the verdict of the court.
The India developmental model is the right model which the world can follow, and that is the opportunity that we have before us.
I believe that you are soaked in the philosophy of nation first.
इस देश में बहुत समय के बाद एक ऐसी सरकार आई है जो सरकार टिकाने के लिए नहीं चल रही, देश को सुधारने के लिए सरकार चल रही है।
ये पहला एक बड़ा इवेंट हुआ है जहां पे आप इस पर विस्तृत तौर से इन डिटेल आप बात करेंगे, तो लेट अस एड्रेस ऑल इश्यूज। What do you see our country as in 2030 in diplomatic and political terms?
I see more change between now and 2030 than I saw in the last 40 years. Mediation Consolidation will work when there is uncertainty of winning by any one party. इसलिए जो judgment आया यही सबसे उत्तम है. This puts an end to the whole issue.
Assertive 1% that wants to open the wounds again. They do not operate only by the verdict of the court.
Was there an email that was sent to you from Shashi Tharoor asking for help on?
You show me the mail.
You are saying there is an email or no?
Do you continue serving the army with the same zest that you have always?
Oh yes.
तो पूरा रिहायशी इलाका इसको ये ना सर्च ऑपरेशन इस टाइम चल रहा है. डीजीपी ने खुद कहा कि 10 लोगों की पुष्टि हमने कर दी है. 2 डेथ.
Welcome back. You are watching Republic TV. Now, even as Sachin Pilot continues his day-long dharna, it appears that the Congress party has now gone into panic mode. We are given to understand that the state in charge of Rajasthan has deferred his visit to the state. Let's go across to Aishwarya Kapoor, our political editor, who joins us on the broadcast. Good morning, Aishwarya. Obviously, the Congress party is still confused as to how to deal with this. We are learning now that the state in charge has decided to defer his visit. Can you tell us more, please?
This point of time, Satyendra Singh Randhawa, after speaking to a top Congress leader, and what we are being told, according to our sources, it is Priyanka Gandhi Vadra who has deferred his visit, because late last night he has issued a diktat kind of word saying that this protest of Sachin Pilot is going to be termed as an anti-party activity, and hence basically making groundwork ready for his expulsion from the party. So that has something being deferred, because Sachin Pilot is still, and I repeat, Sachin Pilot is still sitting on that dharna, which in turn makes it very clear that let there be no doubt, Sachin Pilot is going to go ahead with his protest, which is not only against Gehlot but against the Congress party. And the Congress party, which was issuing threats to Sachin till late last night, has deferred under pressure, and it's very clear that they are not looking for any immediate action against Sachin Pilot, because the lines which were issued late last night by the state in charge were very clear that this dharna is going to be taken as not only anti-Gehlot, anti-Congress, and that Sachin Pilot has not communicated any problem to him personally or officially, and hence then why is this dharna happening? So they have termed it as an anti-party activity, and now when Sachin is sitting on that dharna, they have delayed their visit, giving a clear indication that they do not want a confrontation right now. That's it.
Right now, very, very quickly, Aishwarya, do you think that perhaps the large crowds that we are seeing at Sachin Pilot's dharna site is something that the Congress, is a little perturbed by? All right, we seem to have lost that audio connection with Aishwarya Kapoor. We're going to get him back in just a bit, but you are watching Republic TV, and the latest that we are getting right now is that the Congress party has deferred the state visit of the state in charge to Rajasthan, even as Sachin Pilot continues his protest.
दशकों पुरानी समस्याओं का समाधान होते हुए आज देश अपनी आंखों के सामने देख रहा है, और कभी कभी लोग कह भी रहे हैं कि हमने सोचा नहीं था कि हम जीते जी ये देख पाएंगे. ऐसा कई लोग कहते हैं, और इसके 2 प्रमुख कारण हैं. पहला, भारत के 130 करोड़ लोगों का आत्मविश्वास जो कहता है यस, इट इज इंडियाज मोमेंट. और दूसरा, भारत के 130 करोड़ लोगों की सोच जो कहती है नेशन फर्स्ट.
And coming up next, the BJP yet to release its candidate list for Karnataka. Yediyurappa says the list is likely to be out today. And sources say Papalpreet Singh has revealed that Amritpal Singh is in touch with foreign handlers to plot his escape.
India developmental model is the right model which the world can follow. And that is the opportunity that we have before us.
I believe that you are soaked in the philosophy of nation first.
इस देश में बहुत समय के बाद एक ऐसी सरकार आई है जो सरकार टिकाने के लिए नहीं चल रही, देश को सुधारने के लिए सरकार चल रही है।
ये पहला एक बड़ा इवेंट हुआ है जहां पे आप इस पर विस्तृत तौर से इन डिटेल आप बात करेंगे, तो लेट अस एड्रेस ऑल इश्यूज। What do you see our country as in 2030 in diplomatic and political terms?
I see more change between now and 2030 than I saw in the last 40 years. Mediation will work when there is uncertainty of winning by any one party. इसलिए जो judgment आया यही सबसे उत्तम है. This puts an end to the whole issue.
Assertive 1% that wants to open the wounds again. They do not operate only by the verdict of the court.
Was there an email that was sent to you from Shashi Tharoor asking for help on?
Show me the mail.
You are saying there is an email on now.
Do you continue serving the army with the same zest that you have always?
Oh yes. पूरा रिहायशी इलाका इसको ये ना सर्च ऑपरेशन इस टाइम चल रहा है। डीजीपी ने खुद कहा कि 10 लोगों की पुष्टि हमने कर दी है, 2 10 लोग मारे गए हैं।
भारत के लोगों की जीत है।
स्थिति तनावपूर्ण है। ठीक लाल किले के सामने मैं इस वक्त मौजूद हूं। कथित लोग हैं जो दरअसल
Good afternoon. This is live and breaking on Republic TV and I'm Nupur Talwar Suri. India's biggest news event is back. The 3rd edition of the Republic Summit will be held in the national capital this month. The biggest names, the biggest newsmakers, the biggest agents of change and transformation in India will be at the Republic Summit once again this year. So stand by for what will be by far India's biggest news event by miles. The summit is being held on the 25th and 26th of April. And here's a look at the top headlines at noon. Ahead of the Rajasthan elections, Sachin Pilot launches his most open revolt against the Vadra Congress.
लेकिन हाँ, राजस्थान का यह विशेष परिस्थिति का निर्माण हो गया है, इसका समाधान कुछ करना चाहिए।
Rahul and Priyanka Gandhi seem to side with Ashok Gehlot. A miffed Congress now attacks Sachin Pilot. (1984) riot investigation back to haunt the Congress. Tytler summoned for voice sample collection. The BJP confirms churn in Maharashtra politics, says picture will be clear in January 2024. The finance minister slams Western media, says those writing reports must visit India first. The Financial Times yet to pull down its report despite Adani's sharp response on allegations. Well, despite the Congress party's sharp response to Sachin Pilot's decision to hold a dharna in Rajasthan against the Gehlot government, and what he says is inaction of Gehlot against the Vasundhara Raje Scindia regime, Sachin Pilot has decided to go on dharna. In fact, even as we speak, we are getting you live pictures from the site in Jaipur where this dharna is taking place. He has also decided not to speak to anybody before 5 in the evening. But let's dip in and get a sense of what's happening over there. Madhurima is reporting from the site. Madhurima, we are now learning that there has been a decision taken by the Congress party that the in charge for Rajasthan will not be travelling as was earlier planned today and tomorrow. What are you hearing on it? Can you give us more information, please?
Well, Nupur, I'll take you straight to the visuals as I speak. That if we talk about Sukhwinder Singh Randhawa's entire movement, that is also, under a lot of questions. But look at the massive outpour. We are reporting from outside the venue, and like I was pointing out earlier, that the venue has fallen short to accommodate people and the supporters of Scindia. You can see that how they are standing on the wall of the park just to have a glimpse of their leader. This shows the kind of strength that Sachin Pilot has been able to garner over here in Jaipur. Just look at the massive crowd that is outside the venue. The venue is jam-packed, and the number of people, the number has from hundreds, it has now, it has now swollen to thousands over here. The entire vicinity is jam-packed. The entire area near this Shaheed Smarak is jam-packed, and people are literally standing on the wall to support their leaders. The entire area is packed, and the number is only increasing by the minute, Nupur. So the questions that we were raising earlier in the morning, that what will be the next course of the Gehlot government, the top rung of the Congress party, well, it seems like Sachin Pilot with this kind of support has been successful to bring them down to their knees, and we'll have to see that how they are going to adhere to the demands, because the kind of satyagraha that he has been able to pull out here is embarrassing, because when Ms. Priyanka Gandhi had reached satyagraha, I have been pointing it out, it was not even half of what what's here on display today in support of Mr. Sachin Pilot over here. And as we move along, we've already moved around 100 meters, and we continue to move along, and you can see what you can see is Pilot supporters all across the vicinity, not only the Shaheed Smarak, but also across the vicinity. Barricading has been put over here. The entire area has been enveloped, and security also has been put in place to make sure that the law and order situation is under control. But Sachin Pilot has been successful to prove a point that he has indeed a lot of strength, and he can mobilize the Congress workers the way he wishes to, and this is an example of that. And to your question as well, Nupur, that has there been a channel initiated to speak to Mr. Pilot? As of now, no, because the top rung of the Congress party is contemplating as to what their next action could be, because they have dubbed it as an anti-party activity, but the participants in the anti-party activity is massive.
Now, Madhurima, what's also very interesting, as you're pointing out, is the large numbers have been gathered at a very short notice, because it wasn't really long ago that Sachin Pilot decided to go on this dharna. I'm going to come back to you. Let's play out some reactions that we are now getting from the Congress party.
कांग्रेस पार्टी ने समय समय पर ऐसे विषयों पर बहुत स्पष्ट रूप से कहा है कि हर एक को अपनी बात कहने की स्वतंत्रता है, और उसके लिए फोरम, प्रॉपर फोरम है, उस पर बात करें। और आप विशेष रूप से कुछ कहना चाहते हैं, करना चाहते हैं, कुछ कार्यक्रम करना चाहते हैं, तो उसकी अनुमति लेकर उससे चर्चा करके तभी कर सकते हैं। यहाँ पर अगर एक तरफा अनशन करने की घोषणा करते हैं और अनशन करने के पूरा उतारू है, तो उस पर राजस्थान के जो प्रभारी हैं उन्होंने स्पष्ट रूप से कहा कि कांग्रेस पार्टी का जो अनुशासन है वो इसकी इजाज़त नहीं देता, वो पार्टी के विरोध में है, पार्टी की उसकी इजाज़त नहीं देती है। तो उन्होंने बहुत स्पष्ट रूप से अपनी बात रखी है। कांग्रेस पार्टी के जो पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है अधिकृत रूप से, आधिकारिक रूप से उसको सामने रखा है। और मैं समझता हूँ कि अभी अनशन शुरू नहीं किया है तो सचिन पायलट जी इसको पुनः गंभीरता से विचार करेंगे।
देखिए, ऐसा है कि सचिन पायलट जी को इस समय पूरी शक्ति लगाना चाहिए। राहुल जी को जिस तरह से प्रताड़ित किया जा रहा है, संसद से निकाल दिया गया है, अदालत से सजा करा दी गई है, उनके पीछे खड़ा होना चाहिए। कांग्रेस ने बहुत कुछ उनको दिया है।
सरकार का अंतर्किल अब चरम पर है। अपमान की राजनीति इस कदर इस आगे पहुंच गई है कि आखिर जिस व्यक्ति ने सरकार को निर्माण में सबसे अहम भूमिका निभाई थी, आज वो अनशन पर जा रहे हैं, सहारा ले रहे हैं पूर्ववर्ती सरकार का। उनके मन में पीड़ा है अपने अपमान की और इस सरकार के में भ्रष्टाचार के तांडव की। ये खुली चुनौती है आलाकमान को। आलाकमान ने कहा कि अनुशासनहीनता है, इनके प्रभारी सुखजिंदर सिंह जी ने कहा अनुशासनहीनता है, पर वो अड़िग है। मैं समझता हूं कि उनका ये अनशन इस कांग्रेस के ताबूत में आखिरी कील होगा, क्योंकि अब कांग्रेस विघटन की ओर आगे बढ़ चुकी है। पूरे देश के अंदर कांग्रेस का आलाकमान अब कमज़ोर हो गया है। 2 बार चुनौतियां मिल गई। एक बार गहलोत साहब के गुट ने दी, जब यहाँ राय मुसारी के लिए आलाकमान के दूत के रूप में मल्लिकार्जुन और उनके साथी यहाँ आए, अजय माकन, बेरंग लोटे, और आज ये दूसरी बार है। इसका खामियाजा जनता ने भुगता। पूरे 4 साल 4 महीने पुरानी सरकार में मुख्यमंत्री जी का काम सिर्फ एक ही रहा, अपनी सरकार को बचाए रखना, अपनी कुर्सी को बचाए रखना। इसीलिए आज राजस्थान के अंदर ना विकास है, ना जन समस्याओं का निराकरण है, ना कानून और ना व्यवस्थाएं हैं। इसीलिए जनता ने ये भुगता है। मैं समझता हूँ कांग्रेस का ये अंतर्कलह कांग्रेस की सरकार के लिए बड़ा संकट पैदा करेगा।
Now going back to Madhurima. Madhurima, even as we hear these leaders from the Congress party speak out against Sachin Pilot, one thing, one cannot accuse him of is impatience, because he's constantly been, in the past 4 years or so talking about issues that he sees as important. So in that sense, isn't the Congress High Command being perhaps, very stubborn in not wanting to address those issues?
Well, Nupur, if I talk about Congress's high command, I believe more than stubborn, they are very weak, because I believe the kind of support even Mr. Ashok Gehlot has is massive. Because remember, even at the time when the Congress elections were on, and there were talks of Mr. Ashok Gehlot taking in as the Congress president, but he wanted both the jobs. He wanted to remain as the president and the chief minister as well, where he knows he's a Congress veteran, and he knows that, that a person in a Congress party can only hold one position. And at the time he knew that if he vacates that position in Rajasthan, it will fall in the lap of Mr. Sachin Pilot. So with that idea in mind, he did not leave that position, and then he was not chosen as the Congress president, and rest the story is out for everybody. But as I speak, I'll take you to the picture as well. You can see that t-shirts, Sachin Pilot, I love you. You can see these t-shirts, very innovative t-shirts over here that the young crowd is wearing over here, with a picture of Sachin Pilot on the front and saying Sachin Pilot, I love you. So such t-shirts all across all across this entire venue, and one slogan only, Sachin Pilot, we love you. That's the love in the air for Sachin Pilot here in the middle of Jaipur at the Shahid Smarak, Nupur. And to your question, like they were saying, you were asking that why the Congress party is stubborn. I believe more than stubborn, they are helpless, because they do not know what to really do. They have not been able to manage Punjab. They did not manage Uttarakhand. And once again, Rajasthan is on brim of falling. The Congress cadre is on the brim of falling here apart, and that too right ahead of elections. And once again, with Mr. Randhawa being in Delhi, only shows that he's gone there to knock the doors of the top rung of the Congress party. He wants to talk to the top brass, but let's see how the top brass is going to react, because the show here is massive, Nupur, and the Congress will have to lend a ear to Sachin Pilot at this moment.
Now, Madhurima, you're of course surrounded by cadres of the Congress party who do strongly seem to support Sachin Pilot. But what is the general sense that you are getting in terms of, his ground support? Is this something that is worrying the Congress? Perhaps you can talk to some of those people around you to get an idea as to how, they are viewing this protest. Do they see this as against the Congress party itself or against, issues that he's brought out?
Absolutely, we'll speak to some of them. आज ये सत्याग्रह कर रहे हैं सचिन जी, तो जो आला कमान है वो कह रही है ये पार्टी की खिलाफत है, तो इसे आप किस तरीके से देखते हैं?
देखो, आप ये जनता देख रही है, पूरा देश देख रहा है, राजस्थान देख रहा है, ये कहाँ पार्टी के खिलाफ है? एक बात बताओ, अगर किसी बीजेपी सरकार के घोटालों की जांच की बात करें तो ये कहाँ पार्टी के खिलाफ है? आप किसी इंसान को जो इतना राजस्थान की जनता जिसको दिलों में बसती है, आप उसको निकालना चाहते हो? ऐसा कैसे संभव है? ये बीजेपी सरकार की जो जितने भी घोटाले किए हैं उनको लेकर अनशन कर रहे हैं, और जब तक पायलट साहब का अनशन है, ये राजस्थान का एक आदमी पायलट साहब के साथ है। जब तक अशोक गहलोत सरकार इन 45,000 करोड़ के जो बीजेपी सरकार ने घोटाले किए थे, तब तक हम पायलट साहब के साथ है। पायलट साहब के लिए हम जान देने के लिए तैयार है, राजस्थान के युवा।
अगर हम देखें, so you know this is the sentiment, Nupur. This is just one bit of the sentiment. So we'll keep on bringing more for viewers, Nupur. But the support is pouring by the minute for Sachin Pilot here.
All right, Madhurima, for the moment, thank you very much for joining us. Madhurima, of course, has been reporting from Jaipur and getting us the latest from there. And Republic TV has information that the CBI may have come across fresh evidence against Jagdish Tytler in the 1984 riots case. He is under probe in the Pul Bangash Gurdwara case of the 1984 anti-Sikh riots in which 3 persons were killed and the Gurudwara was set on fire. A voice sample is needed to match with the fresh evidence. Shavan Sen joins us on the broadcast. Shavan, please give us more details.
Well, Nupur, we're getting in more details with regards to why exactly Jagdish Tytler has now been called at the CFSL lab at the CGO complex in the national capital. This is because he is under probe in the Pul Bangash Gurdwara case in which 3 people had died after the Gurdwara was set on fire. What is very important to highlight at this stage, Nupur, is the fact that this case, which is being probed by the central agency for several years put together, top sources are now indicating that over the last couple of months, they have basically gathered fresh evidence. So that's the big breaking news now coming in, that there is fresh evidence that has been gathered by the central agency. And that is exactly why there is a need that has come up that his voice sample is required to match the very evidence that has been gathered by the Central Bureau of Investigation. That is the reason why we are now given to understand that Jagdish Tytler, who has already appeared before the CFSL lab, his voice samples would be collected, and thereafter, if the need arises, his examination will also take place. As of now, Nupur, there is no confirmation whether at all the interrogation is actually going to take place today, because remember, the summons that were basically sent out was essentially for asking him to appear before the CFSL lab to give his voice sample. After the reports essentially come in, what they would be looking at is the role that has essentially been played, allegedly played by Jagdish Tytler, and the examination will then take place.
All right. Shavan, do stay with us. Let's also listen into what the BJP has said about the latest evidence that the CBI seem to have accessed.
जगदीश टाइटलर, जो कि 1984 के कत्लेआम का मेन एक्यूज है, उसको अब सीबीआई ने समन किया है उसके वॉइस सैंपल के लिए। ये केस जब सीबीआई ने जगदीश टाइटलर को यूपीए सरकार में क्लीन चिट दी, उसके बाद दिल्ली सिख गुरुद्वारा मैनेजमेंट कमेटी के मेरे जनरल सेक्रेटरी रहते मैंने एक एप्लीकेशन फाइल की कोर्ट में कि हमारे पास और विटनेस हैं और जगदीश टाइटलर की क्लीन चिट को वापस लिया जाए, जिसके चलते सीबीआई ने माना। और अब कुछ दिन पहले ही जज साहब के सामने, मजिस्ट्रेट के सामने एक विटनेस हरपाल कौर ने 164 में बयान दिए, जिसमें उन्होंने बताया कि किस तरह पुल बंगश पे जगदीश टाइटलर आए, उन्होंने कत्लेआम कराया और ये कत्लेआम के सीधे दोषी हैं, इन्होंने खुद 1984 का कत्लेआम कराया, जिसके चलते अब सीबीआई बाउंड है उनकी फर्दर इन्वेस्टिगेशन करने के लिए। और मैं दावे से अब कह सकता हूं कि बहुत जल्दी जगदीश टाइटलर, जिसको कांग्रेस हमेशा क्लीन चिट देती थी और कहती थी कि बेकसूर है, वो सलाखों के पीछे होगा। पुल बंगश के केस के अंदर जगदीश टाइटलर को सजाए मौत या उम्र कैद हो सकती है। विटनेस, क्रेडिबल विटनेस हैं जिन्होंने सामने कत्लेआम देखा, वो सारी विटनेस जो अब कोर्ट के सामने हैं। इसलिए कांग्रेस का ये जो पालतू था, जिसको अब तक कांग्रेस ने बचा के रखा था, सज्जन कुमार के बाद जगदीश टाइटलर भी अब उसकी साथ जेल में जल्दी होगा।
All right, so the Jagdish Tytler over there being summoned by the CBI. This is the Pul Bangash case that is being referred to over here. We are given to understand that the CBI has now come across fresh evidence that will be investigated. Now, discussing the resilience and growth of the Indian economy at the Peterson Institute of International Economics in Washington, the Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman has given a befitting reply to the negative Western perception of India.
I would think the answer for that lies with those investors who are coming to India, and they have been coming. And as somebody who's interested in receiving investments, I would only say, come have a look at what's happening in India, rather than listen to perceptions being built by people who have not even visited on the ground and who produce reports. Again, you know, emerging markets do carry this burden of, you're the emerging market, you have every business to ask us for help, or every business to speak about every issue on which you need to play a constructive role, but yet the prescriptions are ours. I would want to ask if human, that's not to say or not to even imply that I accept the perception that you're referring to.
All right, Ajit Pawar and Sharad Pawar's recent comments have now sparked off speculation in Maharashtra. The Republic TV had reported Monday how sources had suggested that Ajit Pawar is in talks with the BJP and wants to move out of the Congress alliance. Republic TV has spoken to the Maharashtra Minister Sudhir Mungantiwar, who has now confirmed that talks are underway, but has added that names will be declared just before the Lok Sabha elections, and any change that takes place will only happen early next year. So that's the latest that we are getting on this one. In fact, let's listen into the conversation we've had with the Maharashtra Minister.
महाराष्ट्र में राजनीतिक गतिविधियां बड़ी तेजी से बदल रहे हैं। इसी बीच खबर आ रही है कि एनसीपी के बीच में दो गुट हो चुके हैं और अजीत पवार जो है बीजेपी के संपर्क में, ऐसी बातें आ रही हैं। आज चंद्रशेखर बावनकुले, जो आपके अध्यक्ष भी हैं महाराष्ट्र के, उन्होंने ये बात कही है कि महाराष्ट्र के विपक्ष के कुछ नेता बजट सेशन तक अपने पाले में होंगे।
देखो, ऐसा है कि बहुत नेता लोग विपक्ष के संपर्क में, ये बात सही है, मगर ऐसा अभी कोई परिस्थिति नहीं है और ये समय भी नहीं है कि अभी अगर वो आते हैं तो उन्हें तो त्यागपत्र देना होगा। जो भी हमारे संपर्क में है वो तो अगली लोकसभा के 2 महीने पहले ये सभी लोग देशभक्ति की भावना से, सेवा भावी वृत्ति से भारतीय जनता पार्टी का झंडा हाथ में लेंगे। और भाई साहब, जब ये लेंगे ना तब आपको अचानक से पता चलेगा, इतनी जल्दी कभी पता नहीं चलेगा।
खबरें यहाँ तक भी है कि जिस प्रकार से शरद पवार साहब का स्टेटमेंट आया है, उन्होंने मोदी जी को जो है उनके समर्थन में जो है बयानात दिए, अदानी का मुद्दा हो, उसके बाद उनकी डिग्री को लेकर के, न केवल शरद पवार, अजीत पवार ने भी डिग्री को लेकर के जो है वो सामंजस्य की स्थिति उन्होंने दिखाई है। कहीं ना कहीं महाविकास अघाड़ी के पैरों तले ज़मीन जो है वो खिसकती हुई दिखाई दे रही है।
देखो, ऐसा मैं नहीं कहूँगा रोज गाली देना यानी राजनीति है क्या। कभी सभी लोग जो है सही समय में सही बात के लिए अगर बाजू लेते हैं, तो मुझे एक बात कांग्रेस से भी जाननी है, अदानी कब बड़े हुए? जब चिमन भाई पटेल ने उन्हें 10 पैसे मीटर से जमीन दी। अदानी कब बड़े हुए? जब कांग्रेस के मुख्यमंत्री छबीरदास मेहता ने बुंद्रा पोर्ट का टेंडर निकाला। ऐसा तो नहीं है कि पहले अदानी के पास बीपीएल कार्ड था और एकदम से बीपीएल कार्ड देकर वो बड़े आदमी बन गए, ऐसा तो है ही नहीं। राजस्थान के मुख्यमंत्री ने 45,000 करोड़ का टेंडर उनको दिया है। ममता दीदी ने उनको बुलाकर उनके साथ बात की है। तो मुझे लगता है ऐसा कोई भ्रम फैलाना कि अदानी जी मोदी जी की वजह से बड़े हुए हैं, तो ये भ्रम है।
एक सवाल यहाँ पे ये भी महत्वपूर्ण हो जाता है, आपने जिस प्रकार ये टाइमिंग का जिक्र किया कि लोकसभा चुनाव से 2 महीने ठीक पहले, ठीक उसी प्रकार से चंद्रशेखर बावनकुले ने भी कहा कि बजट सेशन होते होते चीज़ें बदलेंगी और महाराष्ट्र में बदलाव दिखेगा।
तो ये बात तो सही है ना, क्योंकि अच्छा काम करेंगे तो ये विश्वास होता है। देखो, मेरिट के स्टूडेंट को देखिए, वो पेपर दे के आते हैं, अब रिजल्ट लगने को तो समय रहता, पर वो कहते ना हमें 99% मार्क मिलेंगे, क्योंकि अपने कर्म पर जो विश्वास होता है, आत्मविश्वास होता है, उससे ही वो विद्यार्थी कहता है ना। तो राजनीति में हमारे काम की वजह से ये विश्वास है।
दादा, एक कैंडिड क्वेश्चन है आपसे, अजीत दादा के साथ साथ और कितने विधायक जो हैं आपके संपर्क में?
देखो, जो लोग संपर्क में हैं उनका नाम बता के संकेत का भंग नहीं करना चाहिए। देखो, कोई अपने पे विश्वास रखता है, कोई बड़े प्रेम मोहब्बत से जब बात करता है कि देखो आत्मनिर्भर भारत के लिए, देश को विश्व का गुरु बनाने के लिए माननीय मोदी जी जान से काम करते हैं, तो हम भी उसमें अपना कोई छोटा हिस्सा देना चाहते, योगदान देना चाहते। तो आज मैं अगर नाम बता दूं तो देखो अच्छी बात नहीं होती।
सक्रिय है महाराष्ट्र।
देखो, ऑपरेशन डेमोक्रेसी है, ये ऑपरेशन इंडिया है कि जिसमें हम देश को आगे बढ़ाना चाहते हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कोई कमल जीते ये भाव से हम राजनीति नहीं करते। देखो, हमारी राजनीति ये सत्ता के लिए नहीं, जनता की दिल जीतने की राजनीति है।
Now, Ajit Pawar, without naming any politician, has taken a whale jibe at an MVA leader and said that some people don't know what to say when a mic is handed over to them.
सांगत होते, काही ना तर माईक हातामध्ये आल्यानंतर काय बोलावं काय कळतच नाही। कोण फडतूस म्हणतं, कोण काढतूस म्हणतं, काय म्हणतात। अरे, आपल्याला चांगले विचार यशवंतराव चव्हाण साहेबांनी दिले। सुसंस्कृत महाराष्ट्राची निर्मिती संयुक्त महाराष्ट्राच्या काळामध्ये चव्हाण साहेबांनी केली। त्या रस्त्याने जाऊ द्या, वसंतदादांनी दाखवलेल्या रस्त्याने जाऊ, वसंतराव नाईकांनी दाखवलेल्या, शरदराव पवारांनी दाखवल्या त्या रस्त्याने जाऊ ना। तो रस्ता आपल्या भल्याचा आहे, आपल्याला निश्चितपणे दिशा देणार आहे।
And you are, of course, getting those reactions from Ajit Pawar, who seems to perhaps be looking at a way out. With the recent comments that he has made in the public domain, it may appear that he is now looking to change sides. You are with Republic TV, and coming up next, the BJP confirms a churn in Maharashtra politics, says the picture will be clearer before 2024. Financial Times yet to pull down its report despite Adani's sharp response.
जूनियर वर्ल्ड चैंपियन रहे हैं नीरज चोपड़ा।
इस देश में बहुत समय के बाद एक ऐसी सरकार आई है जो सरकार टिकाने के लिए नहीं चल रही, देश को सुधारने के लिए सरकार चल रही है।
ये पहला एक बड़ा इवेंट हुआ है जहां पे आप इस पर विस्तृत तौर से इन डिटेल आप बात करेंगे, तो लेट अस एड्रेस ऑल इश्यूज। What do you see our country as in 2030 in diplomatic and political terms?
I see more change between now and 2030 than I saw in the last 40 years. Mediation will work when there is uncertainty of winning by any one party. इसलिए जो judgment आया यही सबसे उत्तम है. This puts an end to the whole issue.
Assertive 1% that wants to open the wounds again. They do not operate only by the verdict of the court.
Was there an email that was sent to you from Shashi Tharoor asking for help on?
You show me the mail.
You are saying there is an email or no?
Do you continue serving the army with the same zest that you have always?
Oh yes.
जो पूरा रिहायशी इलाका है इसको ये ना सर्च ऑपरेशन इस टाइम चल रहा है। डीजीपी ने खुद कहा कि 10 लोगों की पुष्टि हमने कर दी है, 2 डेप्टोप मारे गए हैं।
ये भारत के लोगों की जीत है।
स्थिति तनावपूर्ण है। ठीक लाल किले के सामने मैं इस वक्त मौजूद हूं। कथित लोग हैं जो दरअसल यहां इन्होंने पूरा उत्पात मचाया हुआ है।
सर, आज राज्य के मुख्यमंत्री है, इतने लोगों की डेथ हो गई है सर, लेकिन कोई जवाब नहीं है सर। अब तक एक्शन को लेकर भी कुछ नहीं किया सर। Shankar, are you apologetic or not? Shankar, are you apologetic or not? These are the visuals of Shankar Mishra accused who is being taken for the medical and then towards.
Dragging back economic fugitives, fantastic. But a crackdown on corruption alone is not enough to steer the economy.
That is where the reforms are not just to remove those who are with several cases of corruption and disproportionate assets. This will ensure that at a local level, no officer can go about saying, hey, I've come to inspect you without the system approving it.
आप सभी देश के जन जन तक सही सूचनाएं पहुंचाने में अहम भूमिका निभा।
3, 2, 1, 0.
Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching Live and Breaking with me, Rakshita Mishra. Ladies and gentlemen, let's tell you that India's biggest news event is back. The 3rd edition of the Republic Summit will be held in the national capital this month. The biggest names, the biggest newsmakers, the biggest agents of change and transformation in India will be at the Republic Summit once again this year. So stand by for what will be by far India's biggest news event by miles. Now let's take a look at the headlines. Ahead of Rajasthan elections, Pilot launches his most open revolt against the Vasundhara Congress.
कल्चर रहा है, लेकिन हाँ, राजस्थान का यह विशेष परिस्थिति का निर्माण हो गया है, इसका समाधान कुछ करना चाहिए।
Rahul and Priyanka now seem to side with Gehlot. Miffed Vasundhara Congress attacks Sachin Pilot. (1984) riot investigation back to haunt the Congress party. Tytler summoned for voice sample collection. BJP confirms churn in Maharashtra politics, says picture will be clear in January 2024. Finance Minister slams Western media, says those writing reports must visit India first. Financial Times yet to pull down its report despite Adani's sharp response on allegations. Despite Congress's warning, Sachin Pilot is firm on holding a fast to press his Ashok Gehlot-led government in Rajasthan to take action against corruption during the previous Vasundhara Raje-led BJP government in the state. The Congress objected to the proposed dharna by Sachin Pilot and said any such protest against its sitting government clearly amounts to anti-party activity. That is the latest we are getting you. Remember, Vadra Congress has attacked Sachin Pilot. The Congress has called it a one-sided protest and in fact called the dharna against party. We have seen despite that, Sachin Pilot has gone on to the protest side. He has begun, it's underway, the protest is underway. It's evening, the time is evening when he will of course end the fast, but we have seen thousands of people, hundreds of people who have turned out. Right there on your screens are the visuals from that dharna site in Jaipur where you can see we have seen big numbers, a big turnout there in support of Sachin Pilot, and Republic TV is getting you all the latest on this. Remember, it was Republic TV that broke this story first, how Pilot is scripting this revolt, and he has a plan, and there has been talks of he might jump a ship, he might create his own party, he might float another party. All those talks are there, but right now what we are getting is that Congress has slammed Sachin Pilot. Rahul and Priyanka now seem to side with Ashok Gehlot. Remember, it was in 2020 where there was a big rebellion that was led by Sachin Pilot himself. After that, we saw that it was pacified, it was contained by the top brass. Ashok Gehlot remained the chief minister, but now there's a few months away from elections. Rajasthan is going into elections few months from now, but we still see that the unrest continues in Rajasthan Congress. Now let's take a look at some of the reactions that have been coming in on this development.
कांग्रेस पार्टी ने समय समय पर ऐसे विषयों पर बहुत स्पष्ट रूप से कहा है कि हर एक को अपनी बात कहने की स्वतंत्रता है और उसके लिए फोरम, प्रॉपर फोरम है, उस पर बात करें। और आप विशेष रूप से कुछ कहना चाहते हैं, करना चाहते हैं, कुछ कार्यक्रम करना चाहते हैं, तो उसकी अनुमति लेकर उससे चर्चा करके तभी कर सकते हैं। यहाँ पर अगर एक तरफा अनशन करने की घोषणा करते हैं और अनशन करने के पूरा उतारू है, तो उस पर राजस्थान के जो प्रभारी हैं उन्होंने स्पष्ट रूप से कहा कि कांग्रेस पार्टी का जो अनुशासन है वो इसकी इजाज़त नहीं देता और वो पार्टी के विरोध में है, पार्टी की उसकी इजाज़त नहीं देती है। तो उन्होंने बहुत स्पष्ट रूप से अपनी बात रखी है। कांग्रेस पार्टी की जो पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है अधिकृत रूप से, आधिकारिक रूप से उसको सामने रखा है। और मैं समझता हूँ कि अभी अनशन शुरू नहीं किया है तो सचिन पायलट जी इसको पुनः गंभीरता से विचार करेंगे।
देखिए, ऐसा है कि सचिन पायलट जी को इस समय पूरी शक्ति लगाना चाहिए। राहुल जी को जिस तरह से प्रताड़ित किया जा रहा है, संसद से निकाल दिया गया है, अदालत से सजा करा दी गई है, उनके पीछे खड़ा होना चाहिए। कांग्रेस ने बहुत कुछ उनको दिया है।
All right, there you have Congress leaders reacting to this development, and I'm being joined by my colleague Madhurima, who is live with us from Ground Zero. Madhurima, tell us what is the atmosphere like? We've seen there has been a big turnout of Pilot supporters there, but do we see any Rajasthan Congress leaders also in attendance?
Well, if we talk about the support that has poured in for Sachin Pilot, I'll take you directly to the pictures over here. As you can see that the entire vicinity is entirely locked and enveloped with barricades, because the kind of support that is pouring in for Sachin Pilot is unprecedented. Nobody would have imagined that one leader could garner this kind of support. My video journalist Vivek is bringing you the visuals. As you can see that how these supporters have climbed the wall, because the entire venue is packed over here, and the sentiment is all for Pilot. We'll speak to some of them. आज आप यहाँ पे आए हो, जो कांग्रेस गवर्नमेंट है वो ये कह रही है कि ये पार्टी के खिलाफ है जो अनशन कर रहा है।
मैं सबसे पहले तो आपको बताना चाहता हूँ, ये पार्टी खिलाफ अनशन, ये भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ है, जो गहलोत गुट पायलट साहब को टारगेट करता है कि गुर्जर समाज का नेता है। आप कैमरा घुमा के देखो, 36 कौम पायलट जी के साथ है, और जो जनता में जो रोष है वो एक बात का है कि 5 साल गहलोत, 5 साल वसुंधरा, इनका गठजोड़ है। भ्रष्टाचार को उजागर करने के लिए पायलट साहब ने अनशन किया है। 36 कौम पायलट साहब के साथ है। इस अनशन से ही तो अभी पिक्चर जांच होनी चाहिए, और पायलट साहब जो वसुंधरा ने जो भ्रष्टाचार किया है,
sentiment. They are saying that either it's been Vasundhara Raje or it's been Ashok Gehlot. They want a new face. Rajasthan wants a new face. So that is the sentiment that is coming from the ground. And to your question, there are multiple leaders from the Congress party that have reached here at the sentiment over here, at the protest site over here, and they've all gathered around the stage. We move towards the venue of protest site and show you the visuals of Sachin Pilot, how he's sitting in the middle, as all the supporters have just gathered around him and are hailing him. They're all saying that it is high time that the corruption should be highlighted. You can see that this is the inside view of the entire venue, and you can see drums, there are slogans, patriotic slogans, how these supporters are standing on the wall, and they have been standing here for past couple of hours, let me tell you. So the dedication is also on the exhibition, that the delegation is very pro-Pilot. The dedication is very high, and they say that the concerns that Sachin Pilot is raising are very important. But at the same time, this kind of massive support has sent chills down the spine of the Congress top brass, and which is why we see Mr. Sukhvinder Singh Randhawa running down to the national capital to seek intervention from the Congress top brass. It is there, Sachin Pilot, right in front of our visuals, sitting at the center of the protest. It's a one-day fast that Mr. Pilot is observing, people coming in, coming out. The protest is massive, and it is a successful protest, and it has been able to garner a lot of support over here, and Sachin Pilot has been able to prove the point that he is not going to bow down easy. What needs to be seen here is that how will this turn out for the Congress party in the end, because we've seen that the top brass of the Congress party always in the support of Ashok Gehlot, even at the time when there were and in the end he had to keep that. So we'll have to see that will this be of any profit, or in the end this is going to turn out as Punjab and Congress failed in the end in his
massive turnout there, and lots of high voltage drama around you. I can see loud sloganeering all around, and we've seen that this. How does this really unfold for the Congress party? Because as in our previous reports, you pointed out that the Congress party is, of course, scrambling to hold on to the state it has governments in. The few states it is left in, and we are seeing how this is an all-out war in the Congress party. You have a deputy against the chief minister, and Pilot is showing his strength. You can see this massive show of strength there. You also pointed out that Sukhjinder Singh Randhawa is headed to Delhi. Right now, we have heard of many reactions from the Congress leaders. They were slamming Sachin Pilot up until now. But now that you're saying that the party in charge, who's taking care of the situation there in Rajasthan, is now headed to New Delhi to communicate to the top brass. How is it going to pan out now? Are we going to see the Congress top command, the top brass reaching out to Sachin Pilot? What kind of possibilities of it do we see?
Well, if you talk about the issues that Sachin Pilot has been keeping from day one, the first issue that he had kept was of the corruption. He said that at the time in 2019 elections had happened, the issue of the corruption that was flagged by the Ashok Gehlot government, that they're going to take in charge, they're going to take action in that connection, but that did not happen. So that was one reason that now again the elections have come. According to Sachin Pilot, the Congress party must have a face to produce a report card that yes, we have come through on all the promises, and that has not happened. So Sachin Pilot has been highlighting these promises since day one. Even in 2020, when there was a lot of rift in the Congress party, he had highlighted that the kind of development that is taking place in Rajasthan is not in keeping up with the times and demands of the people, and that he must be given more responsibility. Though at that time Priyanka Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi had promised him a lot, but I believe that has fallen flat, because that has forced once again Mr. Pilot to come out at the stage and stage a protest. We are joined by a couple of supporters over here. कांग्रेस पार्टी ये बोल रही है सर कि ये जो सचिन पायलट कह रहे हैं ये एंटी पार्टी एक्टिविटी है, कैसे देखते हैं?
ये फाइट करप्शन के विरुद्ध है। इस देश को करप्शन ने खोखला कर दिया है। इस प्रदेश में लगातार करप्शन, वसुंधरा राजे के शासन में इतना भारी करप्शन हुआ, संस्थागत करप्शन हुआ। ललित मोदी ने
पार्टी कह रही है कि अनशन करने की क्या जरूरत है, आप हमसे बात करिए। ये एक तरीके का ऐसा लग रहा है कि दो गुट बन गए।
भ्रष्टाचार के विरुद्ध बात करने की किसी को किसी से जरूरत नहीं है इस देश में। फिर भी पायलट जी ने 13 महीने पहले मुख्यमंत्री को चिट्ठी लिखी थी। 13 महीने में तो मुख्यमंत्री जी का फर्ज बनता था कि वो कांग्रेस अध्यक्षा सोनिया गांधी जी के पास जाते और कहते कि सचिन पायलट अगर भ्रष्टाचार उजागर करेंगे वसुंधरा का या मुझसे जांच करवाएंगे तो पार्टी को नुकसान होगा। वो कहते 13 महीने से वो उस चिट्ठी को ही गोल किए बैठे हैं और ये कह रहे हैं रंधावा जी, तो भाई आप जब आ गए थे तो आप पूछते प्रभारी क्या ड्यूटी है, मैं प्रभारी बन जाऊं कर्नाटक का तो जाते ही पूछूंगा यहाँ पुराने मसले क्या हैं। तो गहलोत जी कहते कि मेरे पास पायलट की 5 चिट्ठियां हैं, 2 चिट्ठियां हैं, एक 13 महीने पुरानी, एक नवंबर की। लेकिन भैया वो तो भ्रष्टाचार के मामले में अब क्यों है उनका कमजोर रवैया, क्या कह सकते हैं?
What they are highlighting is that's a very pertinent point. That time and again Mr. Pilot had highlighted 13 months back, then again in November, that there should be a fight against corruption, but that his woes were met with a deaf ear, and also at the same time that it was the duty of Mr. Randhawa to come and ask that what are the issues pertaining to the state. Instead, they are passing the buck to Sachin Pilot, and that is something that cannot be entertained, and which is why such massive support has come in support of Sachin Pilot. These are the visuals on my background. You can see that how these protesters in huge numbers have poured in here at the protest site, and they continue to hail Sachin Pilot and denounce the incumbent government, which they believe that did not fall, that did not really fulfill the promises that were made specifically when it comes to fighting corruption. I love you.
Right, okay. Stay with us, Madhurima. Let's listen into what Leader of Opposition in Rajasthan, Rajendra Singh Rathore, had to say on this development.
सरकार का अंतर्कलह अब चरम पर है। अपमान की राजनीति इस कदर इस आगे पहुंच गई है कि आखिर जिस व्यक्ति ने सरकार को निर्माण में सबसे अहम भूमिका निभाई थी, आज वो अनशन पर जा रहे हैं, सहारा ले रहे हैं पूर्ववर्ती सरकार का। उनके मन में पीड़ा है अपने अपमान की और इस सरकार के में भ्रष्टाचार के तांडव की। ये खुली चुनौती है आलाकमान को। आलाकमान ने कहा कि अनुशासनहीनता है, इनके प्रभारी सुखजिंदर सिंह जी ने कहा अनुशासनहीनता है, पर वो अड़िग है। मैं समझता हूं कि उनका ये अनशन इस कांग्रेस के ताबूत में आखिरी कील होगा, क्योंकि अब कांग्रेस विघटन की ओर आगे बढ़ चुकी है। पूरे देश के अंदर कांग्रेस का आलाकमान अब कमज़ोर हो गया है। 2 बार चुनौतियां मिल गई। एक बार गहलोत साहब के गुट ने दी, जब यहाँ राय मुसारी के लिए आलाकमान के दूत के रूप में मल्लिकार्जुन और उनके साथी यहाँ आए, अजय माकन, बेरंग लौटे, और आज ये दूसरी बार है। इसका खामियाजा जनता ने भुगता। पूरे 4 साल 4 महीने पुरानी सरकार में मुख्यमंत्री जी का काम सिर्फ एक ही रहा, अपनी सरकार को बचाए रखना, अपनी कुर्सी को बचाए रखना। इसीलिए आज राजस्थान के अंदर ना विकास है, ना जन समस्याओं का निराकरण है, ना कानून और ना व्यवस्थाएं हैं। इसीलिए जनता ने ये भुगता है। मैं समझता हूँ कांग्रेस का ये अंतर्कलह कांग्रेस की सरकार के लिए बड़ा संकट पैदा करेगा।
Right. BJP there calling it the final nail in the coffin for the Congress party, but of course we'll have to wait and watch how this of course pilot's landing does pan out. We'll have to wait and watch, but remember Republic TV is there on the ground getting the latest updates and keeping you ahead on this week's political story. But right now time to move on to some other story that are making news at this point in time. Discussing the resilience and growth of the Indian economy at the Peterson Institute for International Economics in Washington, Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman gave a befitting reply to the negative Western perception of India.
Somebody who's interested in receiving investments, I would only say, come have a look at what's happening in India, rather than listen to perceptions being built by people who have not even visited on the ground.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman met a delegation of Sikh Americans while she was in US. The delegation said that the steps taken by Prime Minister Modi in the interest of Sikh community, including their long pending demands, have resulted in the fizzling out of the separatist Khalistan movement. Bihar Deputy Chief Minister Tejasvi Yadav on Tuesday joined the Enforcement Directorate investigation in a Land for Jobs case involving his father and former Railway Minister Lalu Prasad Yadav and other family members. The Supreme Court on Monday upheld the Madras High Court orders allowing the RSS to hold marches in state and dismissed the appeals of the Tamil Nadu government. On the 27th of March, the top court had reserved its verdict on pleas of the Tamil Nadu government against the 10th February order of the Madras High Court allowing the RSS to hold marches in the state. According to sources, Papalpreet Singh during the interrogation revealed certain details regarding his role in hiding Waris Punjab Day Chief Amritpal Singh. Sources say that Papalpreet told the agency that Amritpal is not in touch with any local support system for now and that he is in contact with some people sitting abroad via internet calls. The Republic has accessed the details of a dossier that the Punjab police has filed for Amritpal's aide Papalpreet. According to the dossier, apart from Amritpal, Papalpreet is associated with 3 other radical organizations. He was also with the Amritpal during Ajnala police station siege. Mafia-turned-politician Atiq Ahmed will be taken to Prayagraj amid tight security. The gangster is currently lodged in a Sabarmati jail in Gujarat in connection with Umesh Pal murder case. And time now to take a quick look at the top story making headlines from across the world. Amid shockwaves over leaks of highly classified documents, White House raises concerns of additional leaks. Pentagon says online leaks of highly classified documents about the Ukraine war present a very serious risk to national security. Taiwan's president condemns China's military drills in the Taiwan Strait, even as Taiwanese defense ministry says 9 Chinese warships, 26 aircraft are around the island. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un holds a meeting with their senior military officials, emphasis on US and South Korean joint military exercises. Secretary of State Antony Blinken welcomes Bangladeshi Foreign Minister to Washington, D.C. for bilateral talks on Monday. India and the United States held discussions over the Chinese spy balloons that were shot down by the American Air Force recently after being detected at a very high altitude there, carrying out suspicious activities. Here's a report.
India and the US held discussions over the Chinese spy balloons that was shot down by the American Air Force recently. Asked whether the issue of the Chinese spy balloon incident came up, Pacific Air Force Commander General Kenneth S. Wilkes-Barre said that they had a very brief conversation and dialogue with most of the air chiefs in the region. He also said that for the first time ever, 2 B-1 long-range bombers of the US Air Force joined the bilateral air exercise Scope India, which got underway on 10th of April. The exercise is taking place in 3 locations: Panagarh and Kalaikunda in West Bengal and Agra in Uttar Pradesh. The development of the US bombers in an exercise for the first time is extremely significant for the military cooperation between the two countries. This also comes amid China-Taiwan tensions as Beijing continues to accuse the US of interfering in the matter. US Pacific Air Force Commander General Kenneth was visiting India. Commander General Kenneth said that India is an important defense ally of America. That's why America had also informed India about the Chinese balloon. Agency report, Republic TV.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition, but lots more on the other side. 1984 riot investigation is back to haunt the Vadra Congress. Tytler summoned for voice sample collection. And BJP confirms a churn in Maharashtra politics, says the picture will be clear in January next year. Lots more on the other side. Don't go anywhere.
What do you see our country as in 2030 in diplomatic and political terms?
I see more change between now and 2030 than I saw in the last 40 years.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
जूनियर वर्ल्ड चैंपियन रहे हैं नीरज चोपड़ा।
दशकों पुरानी समस्याओं का समाधान होते हुए आज देश अपनी आंखों के सामने देख रहा है। और कभी कभी लोग कह भी रहे हैं कि हमने सोचा नहीं था कि हम जीते जी ये देख पाएंगे। ऐसा कई लोग कहते हैं और इसके 2 प्रमुख कारण हैं। पहला, भारत के 130 करोड़ लोगों का आत्मविश्वास जो कहता है यस, इट इज इंडियाज मोमेंट। और दूसरा, भारत के 130 करोड़ लोगों की सोच जो कहती है नेशन फर्स्ट।
Dear viewers, in a few days we are bringing to you once again the Republic Summit. And this year our theme is fittingly about how this is a time of transformation. Yes, this is a time of transformation for an India that is growing 4 times faster than the world average. It is a time of transformation for an India whose manufacturing exports grow 40% year on year on the back of COVID, while China witnesses a major loss. This is a time of transformation, of opportunity for India that has let go of the dollar hangover, and the rupee is closer to being accepted as international currency. And nearly 60% of all digital payments are already UPI based. Isn't this the very moment to come together and think of how we can make the transformation even quicker? So please join me and join all of us at Republic TV as we bring to you the Republic Summit this year on the theme of a time of transformation. See you there.
Good afternoon, viewers. You're watching Republic TV this Tuesday afternoon. I'm Shivangi Shukla, getting you the latest. And remember, India's biggest news event is back. The 3rd edition of the Republic Summit will be held in the national capital this month. The biggest names, the biggest newsmakers, the biggest agents of change and transformation in India will be at the Republic Summit once again this year. So stand by for what will be, by far, India's biggest news event by miles. It's time now to see what is making the headlines. Ahead of Rajasthan elections, Pilot launches his most open revolt against Vasundhara Congress.
कांग्रेस का एक कल्चर रहा है, लेकिन हाँ, राजस्थान का यह विशेष परिस्थिति का निर्माण हो गया है, इसका समाधान कुछ करना चाहिए.
Rahul and Priyanka seem to side with Gehlot. Miffed Vasundhara Congress now attacks Sachin Pilot. (1984) riot investigation back to haunt Congress. Tytler summoned for voice sample collection. BJP confirms turn in Maharashtra politics, says picture will be clear in January 2024. Finance Minister slams Western media, says those writing reports must visit India first. Financial Times yet to pull down its report despite Adani's sharp response on allegations. Viewers, let's go straight to our top story. It's the most open revolt by Sachin Pilot against the Vasundhara Congress. The former Deputy Chief Minister of Rajasthan is on a day-long dharna in Jaipur to protest against Gehlot government's inaction on corruption. What this has turned out to be is a massive show of strength. The Congress is in panic mode right now. Joining me live is Madhurima. She is on ground while Sachin Pilot is protesting in Jaipur. Madhurima, it is a very, very big development coming in. It's an open revolt, a big open revolt against the Vasundhara Congress. Also going on to show yet again the kind of rift which exists in the Congress.
Well, absolutely, Shivangi. And the show of strength over here that has been put forth by Sachin Pilot is massive. As you can see here, that how people have poured out in huge number here at Shaheed Smarak in Jaipur, where Sachin Pilot is fasting today. It's a one-day fast. He's not eating, he's not speaking, and he will continue to do so till 5 p.m. the entire day. He is observing this satyagraha to make sure that the promises that were made by the Congress party at the time when they had come in power in 2019 in the state of Rajasthan are met, because according to Sachin Pilot, all the promises that were made by the Ashok Gehlot government of fighting corruption have not been fulfilled, and he has been pointing it time and again. He had written a letter 13 months back, then a second letter was written in the month of November 2022, but it seems like the Gehlot government is not paying any heed to the letters that were.
आपने पूछ लिया, मैंने बताया। हटो सर, हटो। थोड़ा ठीक। जो वॉइस सैंपल है वो यहाँ पे रिकॉर्ड जाएंगे। जान है, इन्होंने कहा कि अगर एक एविडेंस कंसल्टेशन हो गया तो तैयार हूँ। कंसल्टेशन हो गया, हाँ ठीक है, थैंक यू। क्या भेजोगे? पूछो। वॉइस सैंपल्स है वो इनसे दे देंगे और आप यहाँ से।
All right, viewers, getting these back-to-back details coming in. Let's go back to what is happening. Let us go back to what is happening right now. Now, we just heard, try to get a reaction from Jagdish Tytler, because as of now, the big news which has come in is that the voice samples of the anti-Sikh rights accused Congress leader Jagdish Tytler are being collected by the CBI's forensic lab, and Jagdish Tytler has been summoned in connection with the violence in the national capital's area in 1984, where 3 people were killed. The Congress leader is accused of inciting a mob that murdered the victims there. So we're getting these details coming in right now, trying to really get more updates. But Tytler right now is at the CBI headquarters, viewers, for the probe. He arrived.
9 years, sir. Don't you think that now it's a time for you to closure? Say something.
I don't want to say anything.
Why, sir?
I want let the government do their own job.
No, the government is doing their own job, sir. But what do you now regret about what you have done?
What have you done? What have I done? Which have see again? You are one person. You are one person who makes it a person something. What have I done? What have I done? What have I done?
Sir, if you
yourself said 25 years, and now you tell me what you have done.
After 39 years, sir. Sir, जो voice samples दिए गए,
कौन सा आरोप लगाया है?
सर आपको मेन
कौन सा आरोप लगाया? आप एक जना पुट करे सर, कौन सा आरोप?
सर पुल फंगस मामले में जो एक की डेथ हुई, 3 की डेथ हुई थी और आग लगाई गई थी गुरुद्वारा में, उसके लेकर
उसके तो बारे हुआ ही नहीं बात, उसके बाद हुई नहीं, ये तो बिल्कुल डिफरेंट, पता करो जाके, नथिंग टू डू विद दैट 84 thing.
Tytler sir, you regret about the entire incident which happened, sir? You've been made as a key suspect. After all, they would have found something evidence now. आपको इसलिए लगाया हुआ है.
If there is one evidence, no, I'm prepared to hang myself. Let me tell you that. If there was evidence, one evidence, they would have registered a FIR against me. 30 years they have not done it. They're still doing an inquiry. And now you're asking me, look at the way kind of things which they're saying to me. बिल्कुल गलत बात है, झूठी बात है, कोई केस 84 का नहीं है. There is something else which they wanting my voice.
सर वो क्या बात है किस मामले को लेकर फिर आए सर?
आप उनसे पूछिए.
जगदीश सर आज आपने वॉइस हालांकि इसे मना किया कि 84 राइट्स का कोई मामला नहीं है, कोई वॉइस सैंपल देने के लिए नहीं आए.
All right, so there was a exclusive, Republic exclusive with Jagdish Tytler there, where my colleague Piyush is asking him a couple of questions. And what Jagdish Tytler is saying, he's right now at the CBI office, is saying that if there's one ounce of evidence, then he will hang himself. And he's also saying that he has done nothing wrong. Also saying those details, saying that this is a choti baat, a small matter, and he is saying there is no evidence against him whatsoever, basically denying all the allegations against him. Viewers, we're getting these back-to-back details. A very, very big story coming in right now. Jagdish Tytler is at the CBI headquarters. He, in fact, will be giving his voice sample in the 1984 rights case, because CBI has found fresh evidence in the rights case, making it necessary.
Doing your own job, but do you now regret about what you've done?
What have I done? What have I done? Which I feel? See again, you are one person. You are one person who makes a person something. What have I done? What have I done? What have I done?
Sir, if you
yourself said 25 years and now you tell me what you've done.
After 39 years, sir,
कौन सा आरोप लगाया है?
सर आपको मेन
कौन सा आरोप लगाया? एक ही ना पुट करे सर. कौन सा आरोप?
पुल पंगस मामले में जो एक की डेथ हुई, तीन की डेथ हुई थी और आग लगाई गई थी गुरुद्वारा में, उसके लेकर
उसके तो बारे हुआ ही नहीं बात. उसके बाद हुई नहीं. ये तो बिल्कुल डिफरेंट. पता करो जाके. Nothing to do with that 84 thing.
Tytler sir, you regret about the entire incident which happened?
मामले में
You've been made as a police suspect. They would have found something evidence now. आपको कुछ लगाया हुआ है?
If there is one evidence, no, I'm prepared to hang myself. Let me tell you, if there was evidence, one evidence, they would have registered a FIR against me. 30 years they have not done it. They're still doing an inquiry. And now you're asking me, look at the way kind of things which they're saying to me. बिल्कुल गलत बात है, झूठी बात है. कोई केस 84 का नहीं है. There is something else which they wanting my voice.
सर वो क्या बात है? किस मामले को लेकर फिर आए?
या उनसे पूछिए.
और सर किस मामले को लेकर था सर? Sir, because the allegations are not stopping. You came here to give your audio recording samples. So what was it for?
There's one statement they wanted me to. This nothing to do with 84 rights. Nothing to do with it. There's another somebody had put a complaint that Mr. Tytler said something. So they want to know if I had said this. But
so justice has not been given to the victims who were part of this tragedy.
Listen.
And you are accused in that case.
No, I'm not accused. This again, I'm saying, you media have created a hell for me. It's all right.
Why are you here, sir?
Why? I've told you that there's nothing to do with 84. There's another case which they wanted my voice. So I've given my voice.
So, but that case was also related
you ask them, if you ask them, if that is the case, then it will be something makes it. Because बात हुई नहीं है. नहीं कोई और बात.
In your party also there is so much of influx which is happening. Sachin Pilot is sitting on protest.
I don't want to speak on anything. आपने पूछ लिया, मैंने बता दिया.
All right, let's go straight to Piyush. Piyush, Ori is joining us live. Piyush, you confronted Jagdish Tytler. He is a Congress leader and accused in the 1984 anti-Sikh riots. And he's telling you, while you confronted him, that this is just a choti baat. That's what he's saying. Even though he has been summoned by the CBI to give his voice sample in the 1984 rights case. Piyush.
Well, Shivangi, what I can tell you is that from 1984 to 2023, what you have seen, Jagdish Tytler is being defiant and not willing to admit of probably his role or mistake in the 1984 riots. And again today, when we asked him this pointed question of whether he expressed any form of regret in his probable role in the 1984 riots, he once again brushed aside our claims and said that it was only Republic which had the temerity to ask him such questions and frame him guilty. But yes, when he's been made suspect for several years, there are several questions which Jagdish Tytler needs to answer. And again, we pointed him these questions of why, even after so many years, the inquiry is going on, the investigating agencies are asking his role in the 1984 riots. There are several victims who are naming him directly of being part of 1984 riots. These are some very tough questions which Jagdish Tytler needs to answer, and we again pointed these questions to him, to which he again brushed aside our questions. Today he was being summoned by the CBI for submitting his voice sample. Again, he told us that this was not related to the 1984 riots. This was related to one of the complaints which was done against him by one of the complainants, and he again was being made accused for no rhyme or reason. So again, now it is going to be interesting to see that since his voice sample has been taken by the investigative agencies, what further course of action is going to be taken, because after so many years, because there has been no action that has been taken against Jagdish Tytler, it is because of this only that Jagdish Tytler has the temerity to tell us that despite so many years, he's only been hounded since no action has been taken against him of his probable role in the 1984 riots. Back to in the studio.
Right, and Piyush, not just no action has been taken against Jagdish Tytler. A short while back, Congress promoted the tainted Jagdish Tytler. He's accused in the 1984 riots case. He was appointed AICC elected member. He was made a part of the party's campaign team for the civic polls. Forget about any kind of punishment, any kind of strict action. He is being promoted by the Congress, and right now he's calling the 84 riots a choti baat. Piyush.
Well, you know what? Every time when you ask him this question of whether he expresses regret of his role in 1984 riots, as we again did to him today, he just brushed aside this question and said that he was being framed, he was being made guilty, and it was channels like Republic that had made his life a living hell. However, it is also important to note over here, Shivangi, that there are several victims who today, on the note, again tell that it is Jagdish Tytler who was there, who was responsible for the 1984 riots, and he should be made guilty of what he actually has done. Having said that, because for so many years there has been no strict punishment that has been given to Jagdish Tytler, the Congress has also rewarded him for several years. In fact, again, as you just rightly mentioned, there have been several posts, higher posts that have been given to Jagdish Tytler despite his tainted image. So yes, a lot more has to be questioned, a lot more has to be answered by the Congress, that why, despite having such a tainted image, Jagdish Tytler is being felicitated. Jagdish Tytler also now needs to answer his conscience and to several other victims who name him directly of his role in the 1984 riots. And lastly, it is now also the time for investigative agencies and our courts to make sure that all those who are responsible in the 1984 riots be given strictest of strict punishment, so that at the end of it all, the victims who have faced the brunt of the riots face the ultimate closure. Back to you in the studio.
Right, Piyush. I want our viewers to once again hear the entire conversation that you had with Jagdish Tytler, where he's calling the 1984 riots a jhooti baat, and in a way, like you were saying, mocking the victims of that terrible event that had taken place. Let's play out that reaction of Jagdish Tytler, what he told our colleague Piyush.
उसके बात हुई नहीं है।
तो सर कौन इस मामले को लेकर के आए थे सर?
Party of the Sachin Pilot is sitting on protest.
I don't want to speak on anything. आपने पूछ लिया, मैंने बताया।
जो वॉइस सैंपल है वो यहाँ पे कहा कि अगर एक भी एविडेंस
बिल्कुल गलत बात है, झूठी बात है, कोई केस 84 का नहीं है। देयर इज समथिंग एल्स व्हिच दे वांटिंग माय वॉइस।
What do you see our country as in 2030 in diplomatic and political terms?
I see more change between now and 2030 than I saw in the last 40 years.
Viewers, it's time to see what else is making news across India and all the political developments that are happening right now. Starting off with discussing the resilience and the growth of the Indian economy at the Peterson Institute for International Economics in Washington. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman gave a befitting reply to the negative Western perception of India.
As somebody who's interested in receiving investments, I would only say, come have a look at what's happening in India, rather than listen to perceptions being built by people who have not even visited on the ground.
Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman met a delegation of Sikh Americans while she was in the US. The delegation said that the steps taken by the Prime Minister Modi is in the interest of the Sikh community, including their long-pending demands, have resulted in the fizzling out of the separatist Khalistan movement. Bihar Deputy CM Tejasvi Yadav on Tuesday joined the Enforcement Directorate investigation in the Land for Jobs case involving his father and former Railway Minister Lalu Prasad Yadav and other family members. The Supreme Court on Monday upheld the Madras High Court orders allowing the Rashtriya Swayamsevak Sangh RSS to hold marches in state and dismiss the appeals of Tamil Nadu government. On March 27th, the top court had reserved its verdict on pleas of the Tamil Nadu government against the February 10th order of the Madras High Court allowing the RSS to hold marches in the state. According to sources, Papal Preet during the interrogation revealed certain details regarding his role in hiding Waris Punjab Day chief Amritpal Singh. As per sources, Papal Preet said that Amritpal is not in touch with any local support system for now and said that he's in contact with some people sitting abroad via internet calls. Republic has accessed the details of a dossier that the Punjab police has filed of Amritpal's aide, Papal Preet. According to the dossier, apart from Amritpal, Papal Preet is associated with 3 other radical organizations. He was also with Amritpal during the Ajnala police station siege. A mafia-turned-politician Atiq Ahmed will be taken to Prayagraj amid tight security. The gangster is currently lodged in the Sabarmati jail in Gujarat in connection with the Umesh Pal murder case. Viewers, let's move ahead. And what we are seeing right now are more details coming in Maharashtra. In fact, in Maharashtra, we are seeing a different kind of politics playing out. A big crisis, in fact. Ajit Pawar and Sharad Pawar's recent comments have sparked speculation in the Maharashtra. In fact, Republic reported on Monday how sources say that Ajit Pawar is in the talks with BJP and wants to move out of the Congress alliance. A Republic has spoken to Maharashtra minister there who has confirmed that talks are underway, but he added that names will be declared just before Lok Sabha elections and any change will take place only early next year.
महाराष्ट्र में राजनीतिक गतिविधियां बड़ी तेजी से बदल रहे हैं। इसी बीच खबर आ रही है कि एनसीपी के बीच में 2 गुट हो चुके हैं और अजीत पवार जो है बीजेपी के संपर्क में है। ऐसी बातें आ रही हैं। आज चंद्रशेखर बावनकुले जो आपके अध्यक्ष भी हैं महाराष्ट्र के, उन्होंने ये बात कही है कि महाराष्ट्र के विपक्ष के कुछ नेता बजट सेशन तक अपने पाले में होंगे।
देखो, ऐसा है कि बहुत नेता लोग विपक्ष के संपर्क में, ये बात सही है, मगर ऐसा अभी कोई परिस्थिति नहीं है और ये समय भी नहीं है कि अभी अगर वो आते हैं तो उन्हें तो त्यागपत्र देना होगा। जो भी हमारे संपर्क में है वो तो अगली लोकसभा के 2 महीने पहले ये सभी लोग देशभक्ति की भावना से, सेवा भावी वृत्ति से भारतीय जनता पार्टी का झंडा हाथ में लेंगे। और भाई साहब, जब ये लेंगे ना तब आपको अचानक से पता चलेगा, इतनी जल्दी कभी पता नहीं चलेगा।
खबरें यहाँ तक भी है कि जिस प्रकार से शरद पवार साहब का स्टेटमेंट आया है, उन्होंने मोदी जी को जो है उनके समर्थन में जो है बयानात दिए, अदानी का मुद्दा हो, उसके बाद उनकी डिग्री को लेकर के, न केवल शरद पवार, अजीत पवार ने भी डिग्री को लेकर के जो है वो सामंजस्य की स्थिति उन्होंने दिखाई है। कहीं ना कहीं महाविकास अघाड़ी के पैरों तले ज़मीन जो है वो खिसकती हुई दिखाई दे रही है।
देखो, ऐसा मैं नहीं कहूँगा, रोज गाली देना यानी राजनीति है क्या? कभी सभी लोग जो है सही समय में सही बात के लिए अगर बाजू लेते हैं, तो मुझे एक बात कांग्रेस से भी जाननी है। अदानी कब बड़े हुए? जब चिमन भाई पटेल ने उन्हें 10 पैसे मीटर से जमीन दी। अदानी कब बड़े हुए? जब कांग्रेस के मुख्यमंत्री छबीरदास मेहता ने बुंद्रा पोर्ट का टेंडर निकाला। ऐसा तो नहीं है कि पहले अदानी के पास बीपीएल कार्ड था और एकदम से बीपीएल कार्ड देकर वो बड़े आदमी बन गए, ऐसा तो है ही नहीं। राजस्थान के मुख्यमंत्री ने 45,000 करोड़ का टेंडर उनको दिया है। ममता दीदी ने उनको बुलाकर उनके साथ बात की है। तो मुझे लगता है ऐसा कोई भ्रम फैलाना कि अदानी जी मोदी जी की वजह से बड़े हुए हैं, तो ये भ्रम है।
एक सवाल यहाँ पे ये भी महत्वपूर्ण हो जाता है। आपने जिस प्रकार ये टाइमिंग का जिक्र किया कि लोकसभा चुनाव से 2 महीने ठीक पहले, ठीक उसी प्रकार से चंद्रशेखर बावनकुले ने भी कहा कि बजट सेशन होते होते चीज़ें बदलेंगी और महाराष्ट्र में बदलाव दिखेगा।
तो ये बात तो सही है ना, क्योंकि अच्छा काम करेंगे तो ये विश्वास होता है। देखो मेरिट के स्टूडेंट को देखिए, वो पेपर दे के आते हैं, अब रिजल्ट लगने को तो समय रहता, पर वो कहते ना हमें 99% मार्क मिलेंगे, क्योंकि अपने कर्म पर जो विश्वास होता है, आत्मविश्वास होता है, उससे ही वो विद्यार्थी कहता है ना। तो राजनीति में हमारे काम की वजह से ये विश्वास है।
दादा एक कैंडिड क्वेश्चन है आपसे, अजीत दादा के साथ साथ और कितने विधायक जो हैं आपके संपर्क में?
देखो जो लोग संपर्क में हैं उनका नाम बता के संकेत का भंग नहीं करना चाहिए। देखो कोई अपने पे विश्वास रखता है, कोई बड़े प्रेम मोहब्बत से जब बात करता है कि देखो आत्मनिर्भर भारत के लिए, देश को विश्व का गुरु बनाने के लिए माननीय मोदी जी जान से काम करते हैं, तो हम भी उसमें अपना कोई छोटा हिस्सा देना चाहते, योगदान देना चाहते। तो आज मैं अगर नाम बता दूं तो देखो अच्छी बात नहीं होती।
ऑपरेशन लोटस सक्रिय है महाराष्ट्र।
देखो ऑपरेशन डेमोक्रेसी है, ये ऑपरेशन इंडिया है कि जिसमें हम देश को आगे बढ़ाना चाहते हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कोई कमल जीते ये भाव से हम राजनीति नहीं करते। देखो हमारी राजनीति ये सत्ता के लिए नहीं, जनता की दिल जीतने की राजनीति है।
And viewers, Ajit Pawar, without naming any politician